My name is Hoi Sum. I'm the RPer behind Plexus Ventus, and I'm finally getting around to making this Meet the Mun video as I promised. I did another one before, but that one was way too long, so I'm going to do it over again and try to make it a lot shorter. Plus, I got more questions, so I decided to take them in. But yeah, my name is Hoi Sum. I am Vietnamese, Chinese, and French. I am a pre-med. I am on my pre-med route right now, but I am majoring in English and biology. I am working at a rehab hospital where I do social work mostly. I handle the patients' medical insurance and their medical history and the medical physicals and all that stuff. Hopefully, one day I aspire to be an oncologist. That's my main goal, to become an oncologist. And for those of you who don't know what oncology is the study of cancer. And I want to be a physician in the specific study of cancer. So, and then, I'll become a physician, and then one day, I don't know, after like 5 years or 10 years of medical practice or something like that, I'll stop because I think I'm that type of person where I just get bored, and after I do something for so long, and I'll probably stop medical practice after that, and I'll go do something totally different. I always joke around with myself and tell myself I'm going to become a comedian and I'm going to be the next Asian Ellen DeGeneres, which that would be great, but that's like one of my fairy tale dreams right there. But yeah, and let's see. In my spare time, I do a lot of studying. A lot of my time goes into school and work because I'm trying to get into the medicine and get into the medical field and get into medical school, and that requires a lot of time. So a lot of my time goes into studying, or goes into working, or goes into doing volunteer work. And my current volunteer work is going to be tutoring kids in English, biology, and math. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, I love kids, but they're not going to be too far off from my age, so I'm going to be sitting there and I'm going to be like, do this, guys, and they're going to be like, who the hell are you? What are you trying? What do you want me to do? And then I'm just going to be like, but hey, I love kids and I love helping people, so that'll work out great. And it's at my old high school too, so that's pretty cool. I play guitar. I love, 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 love fashion. I love, 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 love badminton, and I love to. I love to eat. My favorite foods are ice cream, Asian spring rolls, and noodles of any kind. I just love food. I love all types of food. The only food I couldn't really get into is Indian food. I don't know, not to really, like, if anyone's Indian out there, it's cool and all. I've tried your food. I've tried the food, and I just couldn't really get into it. It's something about the curry and the there's not enough substance. But I love food. I just love trying new things. I love going to new places, and it's always fun when I travel and I get to try new things and I get to experience new cultures with other people. So that's great. Let's see. I love dancing. I do choreographical dancing, and I used to dance a lot with Kaba Modern and Culture Shock LA. And for those of you who don't know who those dance crews are, if you've ever watched America's Best Dance Crew, Kaba Modern came in second in that show next to Jabberwockies. And Culture Shock LA is a bigger network of dance community, and they're really good too. And I love to dance. I don't really have time to dance with them so much anymore, but I do dance a lot recreationally. Let's see. I'm a big nerd, despite anything you might hear. I'm a huge nerd. I mean, look, like, this is what I do in my spare time. Like, I make diagrams of, and I make structures of. This is a structure of caffeine for chemistry, and I just got bored and I did this, and my friend made this for me, and I took it apart and I put it back together. So that's fun. And yeah, that's pretty much all the important things. I'm just gonna. Oh, I love cars. I love cars. I spend so much time just, like, reading about cars, and my parents are into cars, and anytime I get the chance, I like to fix cars, and just anything that has like an engine, I dig it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. pretty boring. Like I spend a lot of my time with just studying and stuff, and with my friends, and doing things that I need to do for my future. So that's pretty much it. Let's see. Let's go on to the questions because I had some meet the mud questions. I'm gonna try to go through them really quick because, like I said, the last video was like 30 minutes long, and I'm gonna try not to do that this time. But Orum Polsum asks, how did you end up getting to an original Ventus from a canon, or did you start off alternate universe? I started off as a canon Ventus, which I still do now. I still RP as a canon Ventus, but I started off as a canon Ventus because before I stopped RPing for a long time. I stopped RPing for like a year and a half or so, and then my friends were like, "Hey, we're doing this thing on Tumblr," and I was like, "Yo, dude, let me in a piece of that, you know? Drop that booty tang." I don't know, but I got in and I RP'd with them in a group, and then they were RPing alternate universe characters, and so I tried to adapt to them and tried to RP my character in a little bit alternate universe too, and that's when Ventus Knight was born, because they were like, "Yeah, let's do that brother thing where it's like, yeah, all." You know, Sora Knight, Roxas Knight, brothers and whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do that. So, doing that, that's how it started off. It didn't start off a alternate universe at first. It kind of came later, and I kind of developed with him, and that's good because I feel like I can kind of more relate to him more when he's alternate universe. But you know, I love canon and I love alternate universe. It works perfectly for me, I think. Let's see. The next question is from Shiny Shinigami. She asked, why'd you pick Ventus? Who is your favorite woman crush? And how much do you love your Fengu / Saisu? I picked Ventus because I used to RP Roxas a long while back. And that was so long ago, I could not get into his muse again, and I had only recently started picking up Birth by Sleep, and when I picked up Birth by Sleep, you know, I was already aware of all the rest of the characters from Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2 and 385 and a half days, so I was, you know, I liked them, but I wasn't really feeling them at the time, and then when I played Birth by Sleep, I saw Ventus, and I was like, this kid, he's just so spunky, and he's got all this, you know, this outgoingness in him and this love for his friends, and I totally felt him. I was just like, you know, this kid's great. I want to RP him, and that's how I came about picking Ven. And woman crush, that's funny. You, of course. Who else could, you know, be my favorite woman crush? And how much do I love my Fang and Saisu? I love you so much. There is like, you know, there are no words to, you know, tell the extent of my love for you. I just love you so much. You're so great, and I'm just glad we're friends, and I'm glad, you know, I can still talk to you and that we can talk about anything, and that's great. I mean, I love the connection we have, and I love how we get along, and that's just amazing. You know, I love that. Next question is from Chalkia. He asks, how much do you love me? Just this much, dude. Just this much. No, I'm just playing. No, I love you loads, dude. I love you bunches. You're amazing. You're pretty cool, I guess. No, you're pretty awesome. Yeah, you're, you know, you write really well. You're always fun to interact with. You know, I love talking to you, and I love talking to you with Sora, and you know, it's just fun. We have like this brotherly bond kind of thing outside of our characters too. I feel like, because I feel like, you know, I just like messing around with you a lot so much, and it's so fun. And no, I love you bunches, dude. You're amazing. The next question is from Cinnamonic. Asked, if you had $1 million and lived in a castle, what would be the most ridiculous room and item you would own? I've never ever imagined myself living in a castle, but I have imagined myself having $1 million. But if I did have $1 million and lived in a castle, does that mean like I already own the castle and then I have $1 million on the side? And if that's the case, I would make an ice cream room. You know, that is, I imagine dying in ice cream, just laying in a casket full of ice cream that like never freezes, like Sub-Zero freeze me in ice cream. That would be great. I mean, I just like, you know, that's great. I would love a room with just all this ice cream, and you would just go into the room in this empty hall in the front, and there'd be this like this fence cutting off the rest of the room, and in in the other in the other bigger portion of the room, there's like big gargantuan scoops of ice cream, and then there's like just the spoon dispenser. That'd be great. Oh my god, that would be so amazing. I would stay in that room forever. The item I would own, however, is I would always joke to myself, and I always tell myself first, if whenever I buy my first house, the first thing I want to put into my house is a slushy machine, and those things go expensive, girl. So the ice cream machine would probably be my first thing. Yeah, definitely, because those things get expensive. But slushy machine, totally. Okay, Anonymous asked, how did you come up with Ventus Night? I think I kind of explained a portion of that from the first question. I came up with him after RPing with Chalkia and Cinnamonic and Trinket Princess, and I started adapting a more casual Ventus, a more, just alternate universe Ventus. But but a lot of my more, deeper aspects of Ventus Night came not just only from the brothers, but I always try to give him a realistic sense, and yet at the same time try to make him how he is in his canon self, and all the things he would do if he were canon, and all the things he says, and how I feel he feels in the game. And it didn't really take all that much thinking, because I feel like I have a knack for understanding people a little bit better, and so it kind of came up easy, to see this kid growing up with his brothers, losing his parents, and how he would react to that and what he needs to do. And I really, I know what I have to go through just to go through school, and I do a lot of crazy things. I never sleep sometimes, I never eat sometimes, I get into the craziest things. And for him to have to deal with, losing his parents, and trying to take care of his younger brothers, and trying to keep their family together, and trying to make sure that the night company doesn't fall apart. I can only imagine how many, links the kid has to go to. But I know that as a human being, anything a person cares about so much, and anything a person wants to do so badly, they'll make it happen somehow, because just like me, I just want to be able to become a doctor, and I'm already pulling so much. So I'm not, a lot of the times I see Ventus Night and I think, this kid just gets into so much trouble, he does so much crap, but at the same time, it's very realistic. There are people out there, if you think in the realism of it all, that they just go through so much stuff, and they just do whatever is necessary. And it's amazing when you hear stories like that. And I've heard plenty of stories where people come out through life and death situations, or they're orphans, and they just pull themselves together and they do what needs to be done. And I feel like Ventus Knight is like that, and I try to build him up on that sense, where he does what needs to be done. He does what is necessary for him and for those around him that he loves so much. So it's I came up with Ventus Knight with that realism idea, and that just keep the aspects of him that you see in the game. So I try to make that depth for him. Who are some of your favorite authors? I don't have favorite authors. I actually don't really like to read, to be honest, but I read in a large assortment of books because of AP classes I've done in high school, and classes I do for my English major. So some of the books that I really like are Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan, and another one that I really like since I was a kid is Frindle by Andrew Clements. But I don't really have a favorite author. There's so many different authors out there, and they write so differently, and they have so much to contribute through their writing. I can't really pinpoint an author and say he's my favorite, because he or she is my favorite, because there's just so many that just give so much in their writing, and I can't really pinpoint one. Do you often work on your writing style, or does it come naturally? Anna asks. I don't often work on my writing style. I mean, I don't sit down and take the time to work on my writing so much. Not lately. In my younger years, I did. Not so much now. But I do always try to make sure that I am, as I'm writing my responses for RP, I keep in mind that I'm writing not for the purpose of RPing, but I'm writing for the purpose of making sure that I retain everything I need to just become a better writer or stay a good writer. So I do the casual maintenance of my writing. I do the proofreading. I make sure that my syntax is correct. I do the grammar. I make sure that all the content and the meaning, the purpose of my writing is there, and I want to be able to have my reader feel those things more so than actually see them. I'm really, if you haven't really noticed, but the way I write, I like to really place expression and place feeling into my writing. I get really descriptive with how my character feels, because I feel like with the emotion, you can picture things a lot easier when you know how they're feeling, and it's so hard to like understand what a person's feeling. But when it's like a character and you're reading from a third-person omniscient point of view, it's so much easier to be like, oh, okay, so this is exactly what they're feeling. I understand because this is how it's going to come out, you know. So I work on it as it goes. I try to maintain things unless I become lazy and I don't want to proofread. But other than that, I just I use simple supplements, like I use the dictionary when I want to make sure that a word is I'm using a word correctly, or if I'm using the word with the right connotation that I want. And I use thesauruses, and anytime I need to make sure that a syntax or like a preposition or subject verb agreement issue is like questionable, I look that up on the internet. But pretty much, it just comes naturally. I just write how I place the burdens of my character upon myself, and then I try to explain the aspects of how they're feeling and what goes on through their mind, and what they're going to try to do with it. I don't like the idea of placing myself in their shoes, because then I feel like I still have to do this third person point of view while I'm in them. So I'd rather put their burdens on me and then see how I feel, and then place it in their perspective, because then it just flows better that way. But most of the time it comes naturally. Yeah. What do you like most about Ventus? What I like most about Ventus, he's a really outgoing kid. He's really upbeat. He really cares about his friends, but I feel like he's got this lingering doubt in him that he doesn't really know quite for sure what he's doing. He's just doing what he feels is right. And you would expect that from a kid his age. He's like 13, 14. I don't know, some people say 15. He's a kid. So, you don't expect much else from a kid. You just kind of like, you don't most of the time know what you're doing. If you think back in that time, you don't know what you're doing. You're just going on your feelings. You're going on your gut. And I feel like because he's going on those feelings in his gut, it's so just true to him, because all the things he's feeling in his gut, it's right, with all the right intentions. He's trying to do all the right things. He's trying to be there for his friends. He's trying to figure things out, and in a sense, he feels like he's making all the right decisions, and that's what I like about Ventus. He goes with his gut, and he tries to be optimistic, and he does what he believes is right, despite anything that he might have been taught, that he might have been, that whatever. But those things are just, those things are ingrained in you. He goes with his instincts, and I think that's important for a kid his age, going through all the things he's going through. So yeah. Another question is from Aventus. Aventus asks, why did you decide to initially RP Ben? I kind of answered that question already, but Ben is just, he reminds me a lot about me when I was a kid, I guess. A lot of the similar aspects of me when I was a kid. And, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just doing what I felt was right, and I did it to the utmost capability that I had, because at that time, that's what felt most true to me, And it didn't really matter what else was affecting me, so long as I felt like I was still right and I was still doing as much as I could. I was giving my all the time, because at that moment in time, it's as true to me as anything else, So I feel like, Ben is just a really good heart. He's a really good kid, and he's strong in the sense that he can just do whatever needs to be done. Aventus also asked, what are you hoping to accomplish in the future? In the future, I daydream about my future a lot. I daydream so much about my future, and I like stress over my future so much. And I think that's one of my flaws that a lot of people tell me, that I shouldn't be stressing so much about my future. But I want to become an oncologist. I want to be a doctor, and I want to be successful. I don't want to have to depend on anyone. I don't want to have to worry about finances or anything like that. I want to be able to do what I like to do, how I like to do it, when I like to do it. I want to be my own boss. That's what I'm hoping to accomplish in my future. But I really want to make sure that as I grow up and I become a medical physician, I want to be able to remember all the things that I've had as a kid, because I've noticed that as I grow up and I get into college and I start doing all these things for medical school, I start to realize that I'm growing up, I'm getting different, I'm, learning different things, becoming a little different person. And I'm sorry, I'm a little shaking because this is like really serious talk to me. It's really hitting me in a soft spot. But, you know, I just really want to be able to um, remember as I grow up the compassions that I've had as a child. And when I was a kid, a lot of things happened to me, and I didn't just suddenly decide to pick oncology out of nowhere. A lot of the closest people in my life were affected by cancer, and I've lost a lot of people in cancer, and it's just become a real huge portion of my life. If cancer were a person, I would be seeing that person every other Tuesday and like once or twice a week, or once or twice a day and Sunday. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just everywhere in my life. And I just really hope that when I grow up to be a doctor, that I'm not that type of doctor where, the first thing I wonder is, do you have medical insurance? Can you pay me? Like, oh, this is what you have. This is what matches my symptoms. Here you go. You're diagnosed with this. Go ahead, go get your medicine, leave. I don't want to be that kind of doctor. I want to be able to, I believe as a doctor, it's more than just a practice about the body. It's a practice about the mind and the soul and the heart. And you can't just heal a person's body and expect them to be okay afterwards. There's a lot of other things that involve, diseases, and the things they have an effect in the body they have a lot more effect on the mind, I feel like, and the soul, and them as a person. And I want to be there as a doctor to be able to be compassionate and to be able to be, you know, just not treat my patients and care about them physically, but in a way that I can tell them, hey, I'm gonna be here for you. I'm gonna do what I can, But that's what I really hope to and accomplish. Like I said, later after 5 years of medical practice, I'll probably get bored, and then I'll did want to do something else, and it probably won't be becoming Ellen DeGeneres. But hey, after like 10 years or something of medical practice, I'll probably want to become a teacher. I really like teaching young minds, and I like, you know, helping people think broader and think different. And if I don't want to become a doctor, I might just, I want to travel and be a traveling doctor. Like one of those places, one of those doctors that you go and you do research, and then you do your practice and you do more research. I really want to do research sometime in my life too. I want to be able to uh, think of maybe try to make some sort of cure, or which I don't, it's too soon to tell now with cancer, but I want to be able to come up with something that'll help progress the development and the fight against cancer. So there's so much things I want to do. I've always imagined myself living in a little like condo on the side of the beach, and like having 7 different cars every day of the week, and all the fancy stuff with the Bentleys and the Lambos and the but what I'm really hoping to accomplish is just I just really want to be able to meet all the goals that I have, because I'm going to be having a lot of goals. I mean, right now it's just becoming a doctor, but once I get after that, I'm going to have more, and I'm going to think of things, and I'm going to want to be able to accomplish them, and quench my thirst for life. Um happiness, yes, but sometimes I feel like I'm gonna be too busy to really be thinking about happiness. I'm gonna be thinking more so about what I can do and what I can contribute. But definitely, I want to be happy too, obviously. But there's so much I want to do in my life. I mean, I can't just stop thinking about. I can't. I am always thinking about like, what am I gonna do after I become a doctor? What am I gonna do, you know, meanwhile, and you know, yeah, there's all this time and I have all this energy. I want to be able to do all the things. I want to be greedy with life, and um, yeah, there's so many things I can't even hope to explain the list of things I want to be able to do. There's not just one goal in my life. I feel like there's a lot, and some of them I see and some of them I don't. But stuff that I'm hoping to accomplish in the future, oh, a lot of things. um, but yeah, that's all for the questions. There is one more question. It's an anonymous question. The anonymous is asking, "Teach me how to Dougie." Well, see, your question is what's making this video last like half an hour. Like this lesson of teaching you how to Dougie, and teach. Oh, the anonymous also asked, "And teach me your favorite dance move." Okay, so this video is regardless going to last half an hour. But yeah, sure, I'll teach you how to Dougie. Come on over. I can't do it here because it's carpet, so we're going to do it on the stairwell here. Hopefully it works out. Can you see the stairwell? Yeah. Okay. Well, teaching you how to Dougie. Well, Dougieing is just the concept of Dougieing is being very laid back and being just in tune with the music. You just want to be able to be lazy, basically. So when you Dougie, you just want to let your body loose, and you just the main thing about Dougieing is you swaying back and forth. So here, let me give you an example. When you Dougie, you sway back and forth. A lot of people just sway, and when they Dougie, they like to add things into incorporation to their dance, just as a style that they do. But mostly it's just like this. You're going back and forth, and then people put their arms up and they move their legs and they do things with their arms and they swirl their legs and they do all these weird things. But basically, it's just all about you, what you want to make your Dougie like. There is no right or wrong way to do the Dougie. You just do what feels right and what you think is cool. So, Dougie, just go drop, drop, drop. And some people like to drop really low. That's why I feel like it's a lot easier if you put one foot in front of the other, because then it gives you more stability. So, you sway back and forth, and you do things with your arms. Some people do the circular motion, some people don't. And, it's just what you want to do with it. As long as you sway back and forth, you keep your legs in one spot. You don't do what I just did right there. But you just sway back and forth, and then you just Dougie, and you come back. You come up and down a lot. You can move up, you can move down, you can move up, you can move down. Whatever you want. And you just move with it. Teach me how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. Everybody Dougie. Everybody Dougie. Everybody Dougie. You weren't messing with my Dougie, right? That's it. Yeah, and that one move was just the cat daddy, and it's the wheelchair, and you basically just wheelchair your arms, and you just go down. So it's just like wheelchair, and come back down, come back up. So that's pretty much it. And you just put it all together, and it's just like this, And that's it. That's the Dougie for you. I'm not going to get too much into it because then it'll make the video just way too long. But teach you my favorite dance move. My favorite dance move would have to be anything that has to do with gliding, air gliding. I love air gliding because there is an illusion to it, and I feel like that's what mostly dance is. It's the art of the illusion, and you not just choreography and body perception and all that stuff, but a lot of the more artistic styles of dancing have to do with illusions, and you want to be able to trick your audience into thinking, you know, this is what's happening, but this is actually what's happening, you know. And you basically want them to think that you know what you're doing. So yeah, gliding is basically you're gonna look like you are gliding on air. So it's basically what it is that you're gonna put your legs shoulder width length apart, and you lean all your weight on one leg, and this leg basically has like no weight. Okay, so you lean it all on one leg and you pivot a little bit right there, and then this leg gets pushed out, right? So you just push this leg out, right? And then you change the weight, and the weight comes onto here. And you want to point your toe inward so that it looks like once you're moving your leg in, it'll look like you're dragging your leg in without, you know, without really dragging it. But you kind of are, but I'm such a bad teacher at this. But you put all your weight in this leg then, and then you drag this leg in without really any weight. And then you change, and you do it all over again. You put your weight on this leg, and then it does all over again to this leg, and you push it out, change, and you drag it back in. So that's pretty much what it is. A lot of people try to get fancy with it. They try to do, instead of doing side to side, they do front and back, so it looks like the moonwalk, right? And that's pretty much what the moonwalk is. It's just you tricking people into thinking you're walking when you're really not. And like some people like to do side to side, some people do jumps when they're doing their air gliding, but the concept is to make it seem like you're actually gliding on air when really you're just tricking them into thinking that, tricking them by just doing all this fancy footwork. So pretty much that's all it is, and it's gonna look something like this. You know, it's really hot, so I'm a little shaky right now, but you just want to make sure that you're just gliding around. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's what it is, and yeah, that's it. This this dang Meet the Mun just got like 2 minutes longer than what it was originally, but yeah, this is the Meet the Mun video. Thank you for sending me in all your questions. Thank you for making me dance in this unbearable California heat, and thank you for being my followers. This is why I made the video, because it's been about a year and a half or so that I've been RPing, and I've met some wonderful people, and I've interacted with so many wonderful people and RPers and writers, and I just wanted to be able to thank you and let you guys know a little bit about me, so that we have a little bit more friendly, casual, intimate level, so that we don't feel like just, you know, faces on the internet. But yeah, if you guys ever want to, you know, talk to me about anything, about school, about, you know, life, or just want to talk, hey, I'm always there for you. You guys are my followers. You guys are awesome. So yeah, damn, it's really hot now. Sweating. Thanks, Annan. But yeah, thank you for following me, and thank you for RPing with me, and it's been great. I hope this video wasn't too bad or long or whatever. Thank you for all your questions again. You guys are awesome, all of you. Have a nice day, okay? Got lots of school stuff to do now. Alright, take care.